What's good, y'all? Hope everybody's living well and staying blessed. It's your boy Markus B, and it's another solo dolo this time. So it's just your boy, but this is episode 95 of Holla at Me with yours truly. And large in part why I'm flying solo again is because we haven't gotten the studio set up, and that's that's the only reason why we're doing solo dolo. But the reason why I haven't gotten the studio set up is because, as most of y'all have been going through, or if you're like me, you start tomorrow, you start this week, you're starting school, man. And there's a lot to get into there, and I think I'm gonna get into that eventually, but just kind of want to touch a couple things beforehand. But that being said, I do have a couple Zoom podcasts set up to be coming out, and the goal is to be in the new studio 100% by episode 100. So we will see how that goes. In the meantime, please just rock with us until we get there. I apologize for any poor quality in the food, in the video or in the sound. Doing my best with the small amount of equipment that I have currently. So that being said, let's just kind of talk about it, man. Teaching as it is. A lot of the friends went back last week. So shout out to all of them. You made it through your first week. I hope it's been good. I hope it treated you well. I hope the classrooms are not anything crazy, and you hit the ground running and you're off to a great start. I wish that for everybody. If you're like me, you started this week, and I was thinking about this earlier. I wonder what has more anxiety, the first day of school as a teacher or the first day of school as a student. I don't remember having too much stress going into the first day of school when I was a kid. Even in college and all that, you just show up to class on time, make sure you know your schedule, make sure you know what building, room, blah, blah, blah you're going to. Other than that, you just got to show up, and, more than likely you're going to do some kind of syllabus day. And then in high school, it's the same thing. Seldom, unless you're in, those AP, IB, dual credit classes, most of the time you're not doing much on the first day. So I don't remember having too much anxiety, but God bless as a teacher. Whew. And I also, real quick, want to, if I make any stank face during the recording of this, it's because my washer is acting up. Something I think is caught in the spin cycle, and it smells like burnt rubber. So if I make any faces, I apologize. That is what the face is for. People have been telling me that there's the little quirks of owning a home that you get to look forward to now that you got your space. And I was kind of knew what they were talking about, kind of didn't know what they were talking about, but this is definitely one of those random ones where you can't plan for your washer to be spinning too fast or something caught in and starting to burn stuff. So obviously got to fix that before I wash my next batch of clothes. Anyways, getting back to teaching and just school in general. It's it's a weird level of anxiety because it's not because since I'm a high school director primarily, it's not the like, oh, who my kid's gonna be, or like where's the class is gonna, who's gonna be in the classes, all those things. Like, no, I've been working with these kids for 5 weeks already. I know who they are. I know what their quirks are, what they're good at, what they're bad at, and I can kind of um, adjust my lesson plans accordingly. But as far as the anxiety that I'm having, it has to do with like, I guess the entirety of the year. And I'm sure a lot of the teachers are in that, because there's still that looming, we're gonna get shut down again, and oh, that's I can't wait for that feeling to be over. I can't wait to not ever have to stress about that, and not be worried whether or not that the world is falling apart. I mean, it is. Everything that's going on in Afghanistan's absolutely bananas. I don't know too much enough about it for me to feel comfortable about commenting on it. Um, it is tragic. Those videos of the American, I don't know what type of planes those were, but those massive planes just taking off, and all the people trying to jump on and hold on to the landing gears. Like, it's a terrible way to go, man. So sympathy goes out to all of them, and anybody that's dealing with that part of the world. But yeah, I mean, the world's always on fire, like both figuratively and literally. Shout out climate change. But going back into what I was saying, the teaching side of things, man. The anxiety has to do with like, we have a full football schedule this year, right? Last year, we were fortunate enough to go to games, but we only ever went to home games. So we went to 5 games last year, then 2 playoff games. Like, that's nothing. So now we're going to 10. We went to 1 competition last year. We just went to UIL. Again, very grateful that I got to partake in that. I know a bunch of homies in Austin, a bunch of homies in San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, all those big cities, they did not get to partake. So I am grateful that I got to. But now we're going to, 3 band competitions guaranteed, with the option of area, depending on how we do a region. The option of state, depending on how we do an area. Wasn't even any stress about that last year, because we knew that we were done with region at the region level. Like, we're just gonna do the 1 competition, be done with it, move on. And then on a personal side of things, the percussion has 2 competitions as well, beginning of the season, end of the season. Like, that's, shout out to all the homies that are going to Dripping Springs, but that's a month away, and that's terrifying, folks. Absolutely terrifying. For multiple levels, man. The kids, a vast majority of these kids have never done anything on their own. Have never done a marching competition, period. So then the first one's going to be a marching one, like, God bless, just the percussion one. That's crazy. And it's a month away. So, they'll be doing music that they've been working on for 8 weeks, 7 weeks. Like, and then they have to put on a performance. They got to put on a show, man. They gotta do something that a lot of them haven't had, because again, my ensemble so young, mostly freshmen, mostly sophomores, and 2 seniors. So the two seniors know what's up, but you can only explain so much to the younger cats what's going on as you go through, because it's just something that you have to experience. You have to go through. You have to go through uh, the idea of unloading the truck, doing the warm up in the lot, moving from the lot to the holding spot, moving on the field, performing for the judges, getting off the field, and then just getting to watch the other ensembles and seeing what they're doing and seeing what they're doing right, seeing what they're doing wrong, and judging yourself against them. Like, a lot of these kids haven't done that, man. So there's anxiety on there. And then the following week is the first band competition. So then we get to have that same level of anxiety in a different facet, because then it's full band, and you got to do the full marching aspect of things, and then you got the issues of the front to back, the phasing, keeping tempo, all those things, man. And then thinking about my schedule, I'm actually gonna be able to go down to the middle schools more this year, which again I'm grateful for. But with that adds, the level of planning and having my stuff together. But I think I'm doing enough things to kind of help me in that facet. As you know, we're a big proprietor of mental health out here. Just doing things to take care of yourself, both physically and mentally, is a big column of the show. So things that I've noticed. Make sure this camera's straight. Oh God, what am I doing? Chris, cut this out. Nah, I don't leave it in. That wasn't too long. All right. Things that I did starting at the beginning of 2021 that are a part of my day, every single day, just about. Weekends, it kind of depends on what time I get up and what I have to do and blah, blah, blah. But for sure, Monday through Friday, I wake up, go brush my teeth, do that whole side of the morning routine. But then my morning routine consists of do a little bit of yoga, do a little bit of stretching, do some breathing exercises, some mild meditation, and then I go into my daily affirmations. And as far as yoga, meditation, and affirmations go, I can't tell you if I'm doing it right or wrong, folks. I have a basic understanding of each one of those three things. But I know that they're working for me, and I think that's all that matters, man. Like, doing those three things every morning has made my overall presence more calm. I've been able to manage frustration and stress throughout the day better. Things don't get to me as easily as they used to. And I like to credit that to doing those in the morning. You're never certain that it's actually working for you, but you can stake claim in the ideas and the thoughts and hoping that they'll work out for you. And if you're becoming a better person, then why would you stop doing it, right? And this isn't just coming from me, man. Like, I have a very open, conversational relationship with a lot of my students. And I just straight up asked one of them, I was like, hey man, do you feel like I'm calmer this year? And he was like, yeah, man, like and he said all those things, you're coming off hot less, you're more inclined to just start fixing things than to be frustrated about it. And those are things that I thought I was already good at, but when your kids tell you that, they're the ones that know, man. Like, I don't have a significant other or actual kids of my own to like kind of put me in check day to day. So like, the only people I see every day are my students. So why would I not ask them if what I'm doing is making me better or making me worse? If the things that I'm saying make sense and all these things, I've got a very open dialogue with these kids. And they'll call me out on it, man. Like if I say something, like the main thing, that's frustrating. They say that my vocabulary is too big, and I need to dial back some of the vocabulary that I use. But I kind of do it on purpose because apparently these kids aren't learning this level of vocabulary, this remedial level of vocabulary, because your boy doesn't have the best usage of words. But if I say something and they don't understand, they'll tell me. They'll tell me right away. Or if I say something, they're like, "That's not what you said earlier." I'm like, "Damn, you're right. My fault. This is what I meant." So it was nice knowing that thing that I'm spending time on personally is affecting the students in a positive way. After 8 months. Good golly, it's been 8 months, folks. We are almost done with 2021, and that is absolutely bananas. This year's just flown by, folks. Smash Mouth was right, man. The years stop coming and they don't stop coming. But like I said, I'm trying to add to things that I ultimately will make me a better person, right? So two things that I'm trying to add on a regular basis to my like kind of daily, three things. Three things that I'm trying to add to my daily practice to kind of help me keep a level head, help me grow as an individual, and help me be a better person. First one is drawing. That was something that I was fairly passionate about as a child. I was really big into the graffiti art as when I was in high school. Still am, still a big fan of that. But as the years gone on, man, you find that you have less and less time to do things that you enjoy. And as we've talked about on here before, your boy doesn't have too many hobbies. So I'm trying to create those hobbies, and that's the one specifically. So I got this super dope book. I got it last year, and I tried to implement it into my life. I'm gonna try to do it like 3 times a week. Try to draw something there, but I'm sure a lot of people run this issue of I was never a doodler, so I could never just start drawing. I always needed a concept or an idea or something that I was drawing for. So I found this book, and it's just like 300 drawing prompts, and some of them are really specific, and some of them are really broad. Like the 2 that I remember doing was draw a coral reef. I was like, I can't remember what those, I had to look up what a coral reef looked like, but then that was a cool one, man, and super broad. There's nothing really specific about it. I don't know if you guys ever looked at what a coral reef really looks like, but it just kind of looks like some squiggly lines and some shapes and some flowy grass. So That one was super open ended. But then the next one was draw your zodiac sign, and you know, you could just do the simple sign. So I'm a Taurus, so like the simple sign is just like the circle with like the horns on it. But I chose to do like kind of a more realistic, legitimate bull. So that's kind of the one lane of creativity that I'm trying to implement back in my life. Because the only other things that I do creatively uh, on a regular basis is write music. But a lot of times when I'm writing music, it's for an event, right? So I'm writing the marching band show right now. Um, and then I'll probably end up writing some brass band tunes later in the year, writing the indoor drill. Like those things are kind of dictated by my job. So I wanted to do something that is purely for fun, just for me. So that's why I want to do this drawing thing. I'm gonna start 3 days a week, not creating a whole lot of pressure on me. Just trying to do something simple for fun for me. So that's number one. Number two, I'm trying to read more. You know, we talk about this vocabulary thing, and the only way you broaden your vocabulary is, you know, unless you're some psychopath that just casually opens up the dictionary and decides that he's going to learn their next 10 words. You know, if that's you, shout out to you. You're smarter than I am, and you got a lot more patience than I do. That's not how your boy works. So I'm going to try the same thing, 3-4 days of at least like 10 minutes of reading. And I've got a plethora of books on my bookshelf. You know, I've got a decent amount of standard literature, right? So the book I just finished was The Old Man and the Sea. I'm kind of going back to the high school reading assignments and trying to figure out like why like those are so notable. Like why do so many English classes have you read these books? It gotta be worth something, right? You know, Ernest Hemingway is one of the best writers of all times, supposedly. I don't know why. I've never read any of his stuff until The Old Man and the Sea. So I'm gonna read that, get my opinion on him. But then I also got, you know, a decent amount of bibliographies, some nonfiction, a lot of nonfiction. Like I got, we talked about before, 10 books on hip hop and the influence and just different aspects of the game. So I got a lot of books to choose from, and I often try to do this one. Like when me and my boys, we do a Sober October challenge every year, and we always try to throw books into the mix. But usually I only kind of do the audiobook, and although those are nice and really convenient, you know, just listening to a book, I usually listen to those when I go run. I don't know if that's the best thing for me or what, as far as like the actual run goes, but you know, just hearing somebody kind of read to you as you run, there's some mild catharticism, mildly cathartic about it. But I don't necessarily count that as reading. So I want to physically read a book 3 to 4 times a week. So next up is Mark Twain. I got this little, about like that big, little baby book. That's really cool. And I wish I bought more than I was at a Goodwill. Like when I first moved here, and it was just like there was like 10 different like standard literature stories in these like pocket books. And I wish I would have grabbed all of them, but I grabbed two. I got Monte Cristo and Mark Twain, so I'm gonna read those. Excuse me, I already read Monte Cristo. Next up is Mark Twain. We'll see how that goes. The third one. So we got the first one is for my creativity. The second one is kind of for general intelligence / vocabulary. I get a better way to kind of categorize that. But the third one is again on that mental health side of things. And I'm gonna try to figure out this journaling thing. Again, have a really menial understanding of what journaling is. And you know, I know how my brain works, man. I don't do well with freehand stuff. I never did well like in English class of like, I've always been a hell of a writer, but I needed a prompt. I needed something to base the what I'm talking about on. I needed guidelines. You know, you boys OCD. I need lines to draw in between. I'll murder it as long as I have lines to draw in between. Other than that, freehand, not that guy. So I kind of decided I'm gonna try to do 30 days. So every day, the next 30 days, you know, we take baby steps out here. I'm gonna journal in this cute little journal. For those listening to us on audio, all thousands of the fans checking that out. I know you don't get to see it, but for the people watching on YouTube, this is my journal. It's kind of corny, but corny because it's definitely this was my issue with journaling. Like it feels very much like veganism and or anything like that, where it's very tribal, right? It only counts if you do this thing or that thing. So I was up at Target looking through all these things, and you know, I've tried doing this before, this journaling thing, and everybody's bought a Moleskine at one point in time, super fancy notebooks, but I never liked the size. It felt like as I was trying to write in them, it felt like there was a lot of page to fill up. So I wanted to go for the smaller size. So that was the first kicker on this. And the second kicker on this is there's not much to it. You got the date on top. Let's see. I think it's just it's just subject, date, and lines. So, you know, my subject is just daily journal, right? So I ain't even got to write much on that. But I came up with, again, because I wanted kind of guidelines, something to follow as I'm going through, and have some consistency in my life. So these are the points that I'm trying to touch on every single time that I open up this journal. Start out 3 things I'm grateful for. So I wrote out, I am grateful for, then I got 3 bullets. Next one, recent success. Just anything, big or small, that I felt like has been a success in my life. You know, I'm really bad at positive affirmation. You know, that's not your boy's love language. I'm not the best at giving out compliments. I'm not the best at telling you that you're doing a great job when, you know, you're doing things. I grew up just kind of, you do your job and that's what's expected. So as long as you did it right, you did your job, congratulations. That was it. So I'm trying to be more appreciative and expressing those positive emotions. So recent success. Things I'm working on or working through. So it's, again, that is an open-ended idea, but it makes sense for me. It makes sense to just like, because there's my brain always going. She'd just be driving, always thinking about something, always thinking about what's coming up next. So I'm always worried about something. This thing is just moving. You good? Are you done? All right, good talk. Apologize. I'm always thinking about something. I'm always worried about something. I'm always thinking about what's gonna happen tomorrow, what's gonna happen at the end of the week, what's gonna happen at the end of the month, what is life. Things are always burning in my head. So I'm just gonna write down whatever the current in that moment is the thing that I'm worried about or working through. It might be something positive, it might be something negative, it might be something I don't know. But I know that the more you confront things, the easier they become. So the idea of writing things out, writing out your issues, writing out things that are troubling you, get it on the page and help you understand, get a better understanding of what it is that you're worried about and how you can work through it. It's the idea there. Somebody told me that once. I heard it in a podcast, heard it in a book. I don't know if it's true, but we're going to see and find out. And then the last thing is things I'm worried about / excited for. Pretty self-explanatory. So similar thing to what I'm working on, working through. It's going to be whatever it is in that current state, right? So, and I initially just had to put on bullets things that I'm worried about. Yeah, things I'm worried about. Initially, that's the only thing that I wrote. But like I said, I'm trying to work on that positivity side of things. So I added things I'm excited for. So things I'm excited for this year, man, is the opportunity to have a regular season, have a regular year of, and when I say regular, I'm not, we don't want to fall back into our old habits. We don't want to not work through the things that we worked through, got better over quarantine. And as soon as everything's lifted, that we're like, peace, deuce, that was fun, I'm done with it, and move on with your life. No, we want to continue the things that we worked on to make us better people. So I put in the excited for because I'm bad at it. I'm bad at acknowledging successes. So I'm excited for this year, getting to do it, getting to put the kids out there. They didn't, although we did have the end of the year percussion ensemble concert, we didn't really, that was it. That was like the only performance, because UIL was kind of low key, but then even then the performance was low key. It was local. I did get to stream it, but other than my family and a couple other kids' families, like who got to see it? There was no random people there, and that's the beauty of the marching band competitions and the indoor competitions. It's you go to a show in Houston, you're gonna go get to see. These kids will get to see North Shore. They have no idea who North Shore is. Burlington Centennial. They have no idea who that school is. They don't understand that there's some of the greatest programs in all of Texas, if not all of the United States. as much as I can show them videos and get them acclimated to what they're doing, and as much as I can like tell them like these are people that you need to watch, these are people you need to watch, it hits different when it's live. Live performances always hit different. So I'm excited that the kids get to do that this year. They get to learn from those experiences. They get to experience those experiences. And, everybody that's done this before, everybody that's been in band. Band is so dope when it's in your face. Just like fat trumpet sounds, fat low brass sounds, a tasty saxophone solo. Like, those just feel different when they're in front of you. And I'm excited that the kids get to do that this year, man. I really am. That's what I'm excited for. So those are 3 things, man. I'm going to try to do the drawing thing 3 times a week, reading 3 to 4 days a week, and then journaling every day for a month. And we'll see. I'll check back in a month on the podcast and tell you what I've done, if I've noticed anything. The journaling takes, at most, I'm spending 10 minutes on each one of these things. So that's 30 minutes of my day. Like, I got 30 minutes to give up. And if all they do is alleviate 5% of stress and anxiety, it's worth it to me. Why not keep doing it? So we'll see. We'll see how this goes for me. So that's kind of some personal growth that I'm working towards this year. Hard turn. Talk about things that bother me, that make me not trust you anymore. Find out that my homeboy's girlfriend doesn't believe in food poisoning. I don't know what the hell that means. What do you mean you don't believe in food poisoning? As in like a concept or like something that doesn't happen? Either way, you're wrong. Food poisoning, mad real. I've had it. Multiple of y'all, I'm sure, have had it. It's not a fun time. It's not a good experience. But that leads me to believe that she got really improper kitchen. I'll say etiquette for this, lack of a better term. You need to wash your hands after you touch chicken, folks. If you don't know that, I can't. Come on, man. Every Gordon Ramsay video, he's cleaning stuff, man. You put chicken on that, it's dirty, and you gotta clean it. Salmonella is real, it's bad for you, and it'll get you. So, I'm not gonna call anybody out, because I don't wanna hurt anybody's feelings, but you know who I'm talking to. Food poisoning is real. Learn basic kitchen rules, things to wash, how to wash it, how hot you need to cook things, so that way it's all the bacteria and what have you is cooked out. Know these things, folks. Second thing, I can't trust nobody that brings you spaghetti in a bag. Can't do it. It's not okay. And you're better than that. If you don't have any Tupperware, either A, go buy some, or B, just take the pot. Just take the whole pot. That is so much more acceptable than you bring in a bag of pasta and a bag of sauce. Like, what are we doing, dog? Come on now. Frustrating. Third thing, if you're eating chips and a sandwich and you eat the entire bag of chips first, I can't trust you. What's the matter with you, bro? How, like, the whole idea of the chip and the sandwich is that you got the soft texture of the chip. The most dense thing in the sandwich is the bread. Assuming you got a nice, got a nice sourdough. If you're really wild, maybe like oof. One of the most dense breads I ever had was a pumpernickel from Abby Jane Bakery in Dripping Springs. And good golly, Miss Molly, that loaf of bread might have weighed about 6 pounds. But it was so good. So good. So that's the most dense thing in the sandwich, right? Either the cheese ain't that dense, the meat ain't that dense, your fixings, if you're really balling out, the lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion, right? You get a little bit of crunch from the pickle, maybe a little bit of crunch from the lettuce, depending on how you do it. But it's I can't think of the word, but juxtaposition of soft and savory and crunchy and salty. That's how they work. Those things work together. You need those things to be in harmony. And that's how you're supposed to eat it. So if you don't eat it like that, I can't trust you. It's the other way around as well. If you eat the entire sandwich and the entire chips, you're, in my book, a psychopath. And I know that Evan does that. And I've called him this many times. That is not okay, Evan. I know that you got to go back through this and you got to listen to this. Make sure that it gets scrubbed out of any nonsense or any technical fails. So when you listen to this, I still think you're a crazy person for doing the sandwich and chips separately. Other than that, man, I've been dealing with the woes of being a teacher. Every teacher has been going through professional development the past couple weeks. It is probably our least favorite time of the year. Especially if you're in the high school band world, wasting a lot of time. More than likely because a lot of the stuff does not translate to us. Right, I had to go to this 30 minute, it was blocked for an hour. Ended up being 30 minutes. But for this program called, I can't even remember what it's called, but it's, like we've said before, it's a smart campus or whatever it's called, where every kid's got a Chromebook at the high school. So a lot of the assignments are on the Chromebook. So this program is set up to where you can allow websites and not allow websites, and you're able to see what the kids are actually looking at on their screen. And then if they're not on topic, you can go in and block the website, shut their stuff down, what have you. Great, grand. I use the Chromebook maybe twice throughout the entire year. Maybe. They record themselves on video assignments, but that's on their own personal time, man. It's not an active classroom thing, so why did I have to go to that? Ugh. That was another bad one. They were just always super long, and I feel like everything can just be more concise with what they're saying and how they're presenting it. But I digress. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get anybody called out or anything which way. But yeah, man, just a lot of that stuff is frustrating because it does not translate to us. Like, just spent this long time on daily procedures. Like, bro, I've been doing it for 5 weeks. They know what the procedure is. Show up, get your board out, get your music out, get your drum out, play. When we're done playing, you put it back where it goes. It's pretty simple. Did I have to go to a training for that? I don't know, but it's neither here nor there. anyways, I just want to shout out to everybody that's back to school, man. I hope your year is great. I hope you have many successes throughout the seasons as they come, whatever that means for you. Everybody that's auditioning at the college levels, shout out to you. I hope it goes well. I hope you kill it. I hope you get the band you deserve. Everybody that's going through individual struggles, if you have any concerns or anything like that, I hope you reach out to the people that you need to help you with those things, man. We're just out here spreading positivity, doing our best to help the world out the way we can. Right? And I don't know how many people are going to be seeing this podcast or hearing this last message. You might have booked it already because there's another teaching content and you're here for the jokes. But I don't know, man. I'm excited for this year. Even with the glooming chance of it shutting down again, I've got this really weird level of optimism that I haven't had in a while. So I'm excited for that. I really am. I'm not saying, can we just talk about, again, people that are just listening, can we talk about this fade? Look how good this is, man. Like, crazy blended, crazy even. Shout out to my kid. He even got the beard right. Edged it up. Cleaned it. Shout out to my boy Danny, one of my kids on the percussion section. Out here cutting hair like a grown man. So shout out to him, man. I've just been looking. You see it. Feels good. I hadn't got my hair cut in like 6 weeks, folks. So it was looking like a hot mess. Just looking at the last video. Not a good look, man. Beard looking all wild. Hair looking all wild. Anyway, I digress. I hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys continue to live well. Anything that you're going through, struggling through, working through, I hope you get through it. And if you can't, I hope you reach out to the people that can help you. You can't do this thing alone, man. So get the help you need. Y'all be easy. Peace. I want to hear from you guys, man. I want to, any questions you have for us, any debate clubs, this or that, advice, thoughts, anything like that, hit us up, man. I would love to do a Q&A type deal episode, anything like that. If you have any issues, anything that you want to go on, if you want to hear me rant about something, things that bother you, that you don't trust people, let me know. I would love to talk about it. I'd love to rant on it. If you have anything like that, please either DM the personal account, DM the actual show account, holla at me _pod, or Markus at Markus Bonilla on Instagram. Both of those are on Instagram. You can hit us up on the Facebook. You can hit us up anywhere. Let us know.